What's going on, guys? RBG here, back with another update on Marvel's Avengers. Square Enix is currently running the promotion machine behind this game, so you can expect a lot of new details directly from the officials, which is crazy. Like, do you guys remember back when this game was first announced? The information we got back then was so scarce we had to take whatever we got with a very small grain of salt. But nowadays, there's an overwhelming amount of news pouring out regarding this title, and it gets a little hard to digest at times, because it's coming at a rapid rate. And I couldn't be any more happier because more and more people are taking notice to this game. The sales numbers are up, and the post-launch hero numbers continue to increase, and we have some groundbreaking news regarding one hero in particular, so stay tuned. Now, before we jump into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, G2A. If you're looking for a way to purchase the hottest video games without burning a hole in your wallet, you should really consider checking them out. They offer key codes for different platforms such as Steam, PS Network, and Xbox for half the price of the original. So why wouldn't you want to take advantage of this deal? You absolutely lose if you overpay, so go ahead and seize the win. You can do so by clicking the link that will be provided in the description of this video. But as I was saying, we got some pretty cool news, and I just gotta warn you guys that this video will pertain spoilers to the upcoming content, so if you don't want that surprise ruined, you may want to click off the video now. But if you want to stick around, then do so. But guys, how about that new CG trailer though? Was that not one of the most hyped launch trailers you've ever seen for a superhero game, or what? I love how chaotic everything is, and I would absolutely love if we got something like this in the actual story campaign. Like, can you imagine having all your heroes fully leveled up and completely mowing down hundreds of aimbots? I wouldn't even mind if we had all of this done through a QuickTime event. Like, I doubt it would be anything like that in the actual game, but a guy can wish, right? So yeah, it was a very awesome trailer, and it even features some references that seem to allude to possible post-launch heroes. Thanks to the very keen eyes of you guys, you were able to catch a brief shot of this girl wearing what looks to be a SheHulk t-shirt. And if you've been following any other leaks, then you know that SheHulk and all her combat assets have been found within the network data. And while it hasn't been officially confirmed by Square Enix, I do believe that they deliberately put this little reference into the launch trailer. They've already mentioned that they'll be sprinkling in details that'll have us speculating on what they could possibly be giving us in the near future, so this little instance seems like a confirmation of SheHulk's inevitable inclusion in the game. Not to mention that her appearance in the latest Fortnite season only gives us even more hope. For all we know, she could be the secret hero who will be revealed in the upcoming War Table stream. But besides SheHulk's confirmation, we've gotten another leak regarding an Echo character in the form of Kate Bishop. She was also one of the characters that was found within the PS4's data mine, and after hearing that this game's version of Clint Barton would be borrowing a lot of elements from the Matt Frackson's version of Hawkeye, I knew that a Kate Bishop announcement wouldn't be too far behind, and thanks to Marvel's Avengers Countdown Twitter handle, we were able to get a glimpse of what she'll look like along with her alternate suits. And some fans are a little apprehensive about this leak, because as I mentioned, she is an Echo character that doesn't necessarily have much going for her besides being a female version of Hawkeye, and I say that in the nicest way possible. Like, I admit that I don't know much about the character, but from what I read, she features a lot of Clint Barton's weapons, including his sword. And I can see her having a few key differences such as speed, but I don't think I'll be playing with her unless someone else has already picked Hawkeye during a Warzone mission. Now, something worth noting is that this leaked model doesn't necessarily confirm that she is in fact playable. As we all know, Hawkeye is one of the upcoming post-launch heroes who will not only be playable, but also come with his own set of story missions. So for all we know, Kate Bishop may just be an NPC that'll be featured in the Hawkeye DLC. And I can see her being in some of the cutscenes or possibly fighting alongside Clint as an AI partner, but she might not be playable. And I think this is for the best, because if we just throw in two archers at the same time, that'll take away some of the hype for Hawkeye. He absolutely needs to have his rollout first, because he's been one of those highly demanded characters, not to mention that the movies have made him more relevant than he's ever been in years. So it's important that all the limelight is on him once he's revealed, and once his hype has died down, they can just start rolling out other characters like Kate Bishop. But moving on, I want to talk about the possible release date for Spider-Man, because although the developers went into details regarding his gameplay, they didn't really let us know exactly when he'd be playable. First things first, I gotta give credit where it's due. I got this idea after watching my boy Lejeune's video regarding this, so I want to give a big shout out to him for being one of the GOATs in the Marvel's community. So definitely subscribe to him for discussions and updates regarding this game. But yeah, he brought up some interesting things, and I want to give my thoughts on it, because this could possibly manifest into something official down the line. If you've noticed, Sony has been marketing this game heavy, and one thing they've been adamant about is mentioning that PS4 users will have exclusive access to Spider-Man. And this particular info has been reinstated via a sticker on every PS4 case for Marvel's Avengers. You can even see it on billboards. So those who are fortunate enough to play that particular version will have some awesome web swinging gameplay to look forward to. But yeah, an account by the name of JudeWipe1 made a very peculiar post on Reddit regarding a possible release date for Spider-Man. And I put a heavy emphasis on the word peculiar peculiar because they could just be lying to us for clout. We've already gotten fake leaks of what Crystal Dynamics' version of Spider-Man's costume will look like, so we can't necessarily take this info and run with it as an official confirmation. But what makes me think that this could be plausible is when the user mentions that he got an email from Game UK after they pre-ordered Marvel's Avengers from their site. As you can see, it says that PlayStation is the only place to play as Spider-Man when he swings into Marvel's Avengers next March. And this is rather strange because, as I mentioned earlier, neither Sony nor Square Enix has given an official release date on when we'll get to play with Spidey. We haven't gotten any emails after pre-ordering the game, so I find it very strange that this random person would get that particular info. But I do think this could be real. Like, we gotta remember that the initial reveal for Spider-Man actually being a thing in this game came from a UK retailer called Base.com, and it seems like the UK has been the hot spot in terms of leaks. We've seen people get early copies of the game weeks before its official release date, and there are sites that give us details before they're officially made public. I mean, I find it crazy that a UK website leaked Spider-Man being exclusive to the PS4 a day before it was revealed by Sony. It's almost like they had no other choice but to officially reveal it, and this particular email the Reddit user claims to have gotten kind of falls in line with what Sony has already stated. If you remember, they said that Spidey would be arriving to Marvel's Avengers in early 2021, and March just so happens to be an early month of the year, so this supposed leak could definitely be an actual release date. I'd even go so far as to say that we may get to play with Spider-Man even sooner than that, considering the fact that data miners have already discovered all these heroes complete with movesets. As I pointed out in a previous video, Black Panther was one of the characters who seems to be ready to go, since he has a mission and a boss fight along with audio clips. So if the developers are pretty much done with him, I can only imagine how far along they are with Spider-Man. One of the things everyone seems to be a little concerned about is the web swinging, because it's been a thing the developers have to absolutely get right, and you probably heard me say this in an earlier video, but I don't think it'll be on the same level of Insomniac Spider-Man. It'll probably be one of those things where we don't necessarily see his web stick to any surfaces as he swings, which I honestly think is for the best. We don't need his traversal to be super advanced because, for one, it isn't a game about him, and two, the developers don't have all the time to make a web swinging system that deep. So yeah. But anyways, I want to talk about how Spider-Man could possibly be a timed exclusive, because there seems to be some mounting evidence that suggests that he'll eventually be available on other platforms later on down the line. I know Xbox One and PS4 players alike haven't been too thrilled with Sony's tactic in securing sales for their platform, but I do believe it's just something that'll be temporary. And I know some of you guys are probably saying to yourself, if that's the case, why didn't Sony just state it in the first place? But I think it's important to take into account that it wouldn't make sense for them to do that if they're trying to make more money. They don't necessarily want to tell you guys that Spider-Man is going to eventually be available on other versions of the game, because they know that people will be willing to wait for the character as opposed to buying a PS4. Like, we got to remember that Sony is in the business of selling consoles here, so they're going to continue to lead casual consumers on as if Spidey can only be played on the PlayStation 4. But I do think once he's released and Sony's gotten what they want out of him, it'll be announced that everyone will get the chance to play with him on all their respective platforms. Something else that leads me to believe that he'll be a timed exclusive is the case sticker I mentioned earlier. It reminds me a lot of the sticker that's been used on other games like Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you remember back last year before the game's launch, it seemed like it would be releasing exclusively for the PS4, and Square Enix even stated that it was in fact a PS4 exclusive and they had no plans on releasing it on other platforms. But after Microsoft accidentally revealed that the game would be coming to the Xbox One, Sony had no other choice but to reveal that the game was a timed exclusive. They start putting things like play the game first on the PS4 at the end of some of the trailers. And once FF7 Remake went gold, we started seeing stickers stating that it would be exclusive to the PS4 until April of next year. Considering the fact that the Spider-Man sticker looks very similar to the sticker found on FF7 Remake's case, I have a nagging suspicion that he just may be a timed exclusive. I mean, Square did lie to the public about FF7 Remake being only available on the PS4 because they had a deal in place with Sony. So don't be surprised if they're doing something similar with Spidey for Marvel's Avengers. But with that, I'm going to end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little update / theory video, because I'm having a ball making them as we get one step closer to that actual release. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, I ask you like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up, it can be a thumbs down. Any feedback is good feedback and will only help you improve on future videos. But if you really enjoyed the video, it would help me out tremendously if you shared it with all your friends and followers on social media. YouTube hasn't been too kind to me on the algorithm side of things, so it really helps me if you share it. But once again, this is your boy RBG signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.